Hello, it's Jane here. I'm up at the plot in our newly
manufactured
area in a little shady corner at the top end of the plot, which we thought would be really nice at this time of night. It's about 7 o'clock, isn't it? But the sun's actually just going down, so do hope you can hear us whispering from the corner, especially as because I've taken my mic off as well, because we're going to share it, because today Mike is going to help me do something really, really, really important, aren't you, Mike?
I am.
You're dead excited about it, aren't you, Mike?
I can't wait.
Because what we've also just discovered, though, is looking in the viewfinder there, is the table's on a bit of a slant. Either that or, I don't know, I've grown and Mike's shrunk. Maybe just the chairs are different heights.
I think that's okay, because I'm a sort of junior partner.
I've got the upper hand, I've got the upper chair. And I must admit, or I must just confess, if you do hear the odd bit of whining,
Rocky.
It's not Mike or myself, it's Rocky under the table. He's got a little bed just behind us, but he does tend to get in the way. But what we're going to do today is something that we are so grateful and privileged to be able to do this year, which is actually be able to taste some tomatoes. Because so many people I know, I spoke about it in my last video, it's been all over the place. Blight has hit so many people's tomatoes this year that we're really, really lucky. So far, touch wood. It turns out the man 2 plots down has just got it on his, so we're really, really hoping that, you know, they'll ripen before it hits us. But we've actually managed to harvest a decent amount, and with that decent amount, we've actually got more varieties than ever before, haven't we, Mike?
Then you can shake a stick at.
Mike really doesn't want to do this, but I think it'll be valuable. So. It's that time of night. We need a glass of wine. Should have had a glass of wine as well.
Would have been ideal.
That would have been great, wouldn't it? Maybe we could make some tomato wine.
A lovely supper.
Pea pod wine. Anyway, okay. When I first started growing tomatoes, all I knew was that the majority of them were red. Okay? Pigeons are joining in. Majorities of them were red. I had seen some yellowy ones before. And then I went to a friend's house, and she... that's the downside of sitting under a tree. And my friend Sue grew various different varieties of tomato in her greenhouse, and I was just amazed. You know, she had like deep black almost tomatoes, she had the yellow, she had the orange, a beautiful red, pinks even, and that really piqued my interest. And it was about that time that we got our first allotment, wasn't it? And we started growing our own tomatoes. And since then, even though every year I say I'm not going to grow as many varieties, I'm going to stick to what I know, you just end up with something like this. So we just thought we'd go through the different types of tomatoes we've got and do a little bit of a taste test, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Because another thing I didn't know about tomatoes is you get different tomatoes for different purposes. And that's why the first year when I got a bumper crop of tomatoes and I was trying to make a nice tomato sauce to put in the freezer, it was very, very runny, because the tomatoes I was using were really eating tomatoes. So they were there were loads of seeds, you know, that sort of thing. But anyway, I've learned since then. So I'm hoping that we might be able to teach you a thing or two. Or we might be able to teach Mike a thing or two. Or that pigeon might be able to teach us a thing or two. That apple's going to come down, crashing down any minute, isn't it?
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, so, Mike, would you like to point at a tomato and I'll go there first? What tomato would you like to point at?
I'm going to like to try this one first. I think, why don't we go with one that we know reasonably well?
Okay, one that we know.
This little tiny one here.
This one, little tiny one. The fact it's a tiny one tells you it's not really for cooking. You're not going to cook that. You can cook it. These are nice just thrown whole into like a bolognese or anything like that, anything that you're cooking, because you just have a sweet burst. But these are Sungold tomatoes, and these are what's generally known as salad tomatoes. And you just eat those like this. I don't know why Mike's polishing.
I like to polish mine a little bit.
Okay, should we go together? 1, 2, 3.
It's a bit like eating grapes. So sweet.
They're so sweet, aren't they?
Nicer than a grape, actually.
And that's one. We've grown quite a lot of cherry tomatoes in the past, but that's one that we will always grow.
Sweet. A little tiny bit tangy.
You think tangy?
A little bit of a tang to it, but not too much.
I think with those, they tend to split very quickly, especially when you pick them off the vine. They split, and that's because they are so ready. They ripen so quickly, don't they? And one of the problems we've had with this tasting actually is I've had this central tomato, which I'll talk about in a minute, for about 2 weeks now in the kitchen. I've been desperate to eat it, but I've been waiting for all the others to catch up and ripen. So everything's ripening at different stages, and there's a whole load in the polytunnel that haven't ripened yet. So we're going with what we've got. Right, Mike, what would you like to pick next? Shall we try another one that we've had before?
No, let's mix it up a little bit more. Let's have this chap.
Okay.
This is a very unusual looking tomato.
I'm going to show that one to the
striped,
camera.
beautifully striped.
It's beautifully flexed.
Shaped a bit like a beef steak, but smaller.
Yeah. Anyway, this one is one of the seeds
Rocky,
that the
come on.
lovely Ali from over the States sent me. And it's an heirloom variety, and it's called Get Stuffed.
Which Rocky needs to do. He could do with getting stuffed. He's trying to escape from the allotment right now.
Rocky, come here.
Come on.
Come on. Good boy. Come on. Butter wouldn't melt. Butter wouldn't melt.
He's hot on the heels of a squirrel.
So why do you think it's called Get Stuffed, Mike?
Because I think they're very good for stuffing. Probably in Italian cuisine.
So what would you expect from a stuffing tomato?
I'd expect it to hold its shape very well. So
That's
not
quite
a
firm.
massive sort of water or moisture content.
Okay.
I'd expect it to have quite a lot of pith inside.
A lot of pith.
Around the
I'm
seeds.
going to take
Would I
that
be wrong
one.
in that? Oh, hang on.
Sungold away. Sungold down. Yeah, go on. I'm going to carry that one instead. Because this will be easier
I think that's what I would say. I think it's going to
Yeah?
retain its colour and its structure when it's,
Should we
when
have
it's
a look?
baked. Let's try
I've
it
never
out.
looked at them before. Okay, so the idea is, with a stuffing tomato, like Mike says, it's meant to have quite thick walls to hold the shape, few seeds, and in fact, what's supposed to happen,
Rocky?
if I show you, can I show you that one?
Oh yeah. Well, it's pretty much as predicted. Very few
Yeah.
seeds. Come on.
What you notice is,
Come on.
the seeds are all really easy to scoop out. They're not sticking to the walls. They're just like, somebody said they're like a strawberry in the middle. You can literally just get a spoon in and scoop out, and that gives you your vessel to stuff whatever you like to stuff your tomatoes with. Would you like a taste?
I'd love a taste.
Good. Right, I've got this, look. The ones we're not using are going in here. Now, how do you do that? I'm just going to give you a bit of the pith. Not going to make any jokes. There, Mike.
When you say the pith, just the...
Yeah, just the
This
skin.
isn't the pith, is it? The skin?
That's the skin.
It's not really very tasty. Is it? It tastes like an underripe melon.
It might be that it's not ripened properly yet. Maybe it should have sat on... Get off me, Mike. Maybe it should have sat under the banana for a bit longer. I have been trying to ripen them at home with the banana trick, but... Yeah, try the seeds. Then again, that's not that surprising. The word I was going to use was unremarkable. But you think that's just a vessel to stuff things with, isn't it?
So maybe it intensifies as it reduces. And maybe it absorbs flavours very well.
Looks nice.
It looks amazing,
Looks amazing.
but it's not a patch on our friend the Sungold.
So let's go back to one we know. Do you recognise this one, Mike?
I think that is called a Tuscan Pear.
Look at the colour of it.
It's a little orange egg. I don't
It's
know what
an
it is. It's an orange
banana.
banana
Always makes me
tomato.
laugh. This is a plum tomato, as you can see from the shape there. Oh, go away, Waspy. Go on, Waspy. A plum tomato, again, good for cooking because not as many seeds as your standard eating tomato. So again, well, I'm not going to say anything because I know pretty much what I'm going to think. If you look at this one, you'll see the difference of this one and the stuffing tomatoes. The seeds are all sort of clinging to the outsides as much as the insides. But really, it's... I don't know, what do you think about the flavour?
I'm waiting for you.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Right, to me, that's between the Get Stuffed and the
Yeah.
Sungold. It's got that little bit of sweetness to it.
Yeah. It's got a texture a little bit like Sharon fruit, almost.
Oh,
Not that sweetness and that intensity,
no.
but it's a very pleasant tomato.
So far we've got gorgeous, unremarkable and pleasant.
And you can see that it would be good in stews.
Nice and meaty.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pop that in there.
Good texture, not too strong.
Right, Mike, pick
It's
a
not going to
tomato.
knock you off your feet, that one, is it?
No.
No.
Go on.
What about one of these? What about this
now.
character?
Now, interesting, Mike, that you've chosen that one, because this is the first one of these that's ripened. And again, I'm going to come over here. I'm not sure if that's meant to be a cherry tomato, but the ones on our plants are all about that size, okay? And if you look at the colour, it's actually called Sun Chocola. Okay, which you can see it's got the sort of brownish colour. And again, this is another seed from Ali that she thought we might like, but I've never tried it before, so I'm quite excited about this one. Okay, are you ready? We're just going to go for a
say
straight
this
hole.
one's nice, haven't we?
Oh, we've got to, because
It was a gift.
it's travelled a long way. Okay, already you can see it's really, really juicy, so more like the Sungold. Right, you count to 3 this time.
1, 2, 3.
That's nice, isn't it?
Very good. Very good. Not as kind of as out and out there.
It's not sweet.
Brazenly sweet.
No. Well, it's got some depth, hasn't it?
A lovely texture.
Oh, that is good. That's good.
Almost got like a little bit of a strawberry taste somehow in there. Don't you
You're
get that?
tasting all sorts of
A
things.
little bit of
I
a
don't know.
strawberry aftertaste.
Mike likes
Notes,
mine.
got notes of strawberry and caramel.
I think that's a keeper.
Do you know what?
It would be if we hadn't eaten the only one that's ripe.
Do you know what's
so let's hope
interesting?
the others ripen.
Do you know what's interesting about that one? The skin is tasty.
Yeah. So that's an eating tomato, definitely, isn't it?
You'd be chewing on those little tiny bits of skin
Yeah.
that got wrapped in your teeth
For a long
as
time.
a treat some hours after.
That's a little bit of a treat.
It's a main course and a
Bless
pudding.
you. Okay. Right, so going back now to one that we know, like that one. One that we know, and this one, oh, now, hold on, here we go. This one as well, we have now grown for the last 4-5 years, and this was from a seed sent by Mandy Baldwin. Now, Mandy, I don't know if you still watch, but you were one of the first people to send me any seeds, and I was so thrilled. And this one is called, what colour would you say that was?
I would say it was crimson.
It's pink, Mike.
Is it pink?
It's pink, and what shape is it? It's like a heart.
It's like a heart. Pink heart.
It's pink heart. It's a pink heart tomato.
I wouldn't have said it was pink, but I can see it now.
Well, when you see it, if you sort of look at that,
Yeah,
that's more of an orangey red, isn't
is,
it? That's more of a
yeah.
pinky colour.
it's a blush, pinky blush.
This one we have grown year on year, and I save seeds and send seeds to people because it is just lovely. So Mandy, thank you so much. We absolutely love this one. Really nice. In fact, if I cut it further up,
Very unusual patterning inside, isn't it?
yeah. Well, you find this with the more beefsteaky tomatoes. Actually.
Looks like a pomegranate.
Oh, we're on fruit again. Mike thinks that looks a bit like a pomegranate.
It is a tiny bit like that.
Just see what he means. I wish I'd set the camera up the other side so you can see what I'm doing.
Big seeds.
Right, okay. But loads of seeds, but you can see how meaty that is. So great for cooking, but also I think you'll find the flavour is pretty nice for eating as well. Would you like to try?
I think it's good that we're doing this,
We're getting bigger and bigger,
you know,
aren't we?
with a fairly neutral palate here as well, or a non-palate palate, because we could have a little bit of balsamic here, couldn't we? A bit of cheese.
No, that would not be
spoil
right.
everything.
It would spoil it. Right, okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Mild, nice.
Juicy.
I'll tell you something,
A
Mike.
lot of juice in that one.
That's a lot of juice in that one.
Yeah.
That's the one I very often, excuse me, and did at lunchtime, have on a piece of toast, lightly toasted bread, a little bit of olive oil, tomato slices, cheese, just let the cheese melt. That is one of the nicest dishes.
It would lend itself to a gazpacho. Wouldn't it?
Well, it might do.
I think it would.
I've never made
would.
gazpacho.
I
don't know.
have.
So what else goes in it?
Oh,
Read more.
garlic. You can have chilies. You can have lime. Chopped shallots, all kinds of things. All
So
kinds
it's
of
a
variations.
cold tomato soup, isn't it, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, very
Nice.
nice. Very nice.
Right. Another one that I think I'm not too sure about, but just looks spectacular,
Oh,
is
look
that.
at that.
And this one It's called, another one from Ali, another heritage variety, I think from Baker's Creek, I think she got her seeds from. And this is Blue Beauty. And the only reason you know that this is ripe is when it starts to turn red underneath. So it's only just going red. It's been green for such a long time. But the top, the shoulders, retain this lovely purple colour. Okay. Right, I can see what you're doing in the
Is this one a better candidate?
I don't know.
Which
No,
one's a softer?
This one's softer.
Okay.
Okay. Another one again. But yeah, so the underneath, you mustn't look at the top and think it's ripe because it's gone this lovely deep purple, because that will stay green for such a long time. And we've got another example of that in a minute. But as with any fruit or vegetable that's got blue in it, it's really good for you. But I can't remember why. It's called stuff in it, which creates the blue colour you've got to
You
fly
have
on
to
your
put
head.
that in the subtitles. Some scientific facts in the
Yes,
subtitles. We're not scientists, are we?
No, but you seem to know a lot about fruit. Right, let's cut that. Oh, I should cut that way. I'm going to cut that way, actually. It's one of these. Why didn't I cut the whole thing that way?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Look at all the different seed compartments in there. Imagine I hadn't cut that top bit off. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I'm quite excited about this.
Maybe could be a little bit more ripe, couldn't it? Maybe.
Could be a little bit more ripe, but yeah, there's only so much you can do with a banana. Stop it.
Yep.
Okay, right, so 1, 2, 3.
It's a winner, hasn't it? It's got some bite to it.
That's got some bite to it.
Not too sweet.
It's got a bit of depth to it.
And the skin's tasty again.
I took my daughter, we saw her at the weekend, and I took her a box of homegrown tomatoes over. And her husband, yes, they got married eventually, is a chef.
Bogdan.
And the first thing that he did, first thing Bogdan did, he opened the box and just got hold of a tomato. And I was saying, we've got chilies and we've got some peas. And he just got hold of the tomato and went, just like he said, it's just beautiful, because you don't get it with shop bought tomatoes. It's just not the same. So yeah.
I think that's delicious, and it's got a really nice firm texture.
And the colour.
But I think it would benefit from another 3 or 4 days next to the banana.
Just on the plant.
Banana.
We're that worried about getting them off the plant before we get blight. So we are doing these. Some of these are a little bit early. Right, okay. I think I needed a bigger box.
Good in? I mean, I think great in a salad,
Well, it's a beefsteak.
but still great in a salad, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, well, you could...
Big, thick slices with balsamic vinegar.
And feta cheese. What's that called? And basil.
That would be delicious.
There's that dish, isn't
Greek
there?
salad.
Yeah, it's got a name. You'll know the name. Slices of tomato, balsamic vinegar, feta, basil. Lovely.
Again,
In fact, a little bit of mint as
in
well.
the subtitles.
In the subtitles. I'm sure someone will put it in the comments below. Really lovely. Look, it's too small, isn't it? Clearly too small. We're going to have to eat these tomatoes before we go home. Okay, so just touched on this. We've got our plum, good for cooking. We've got the cherry, which is good for just eating and for salads. Now, 2 standard ones, which I've never grown before, but a lot of people do, are Moneymaker and Shirley. And I can't remember which one's which. One of these is Moneymaker and one of them is Shirley.
Is that one Shirley, the bigger one of the 2?
I don't know. They're both red tomatoes. You see, that's what I thought all tomatoes looked like. I don't know, I've got 2 of that one. These were the ones that were in the... That was in the polytunnel. These were outside. So that's Moneymaker. Right, okay.
It's good that a lot of the prep here is done on camera live.
It's always the same. I think people know what to expect from me. Look, that's what you expect for a tomato.
This looks
nice
like
and red.
a shop-bought tomato. It looks like a shop-bought,
Smell
doesn't
it.
it? Lovely.
That smells like a tomato. Smell it. Tomato. Right, okay. Let's hope it tastes like a tomato. Or maybe in your case it might taste like a coconut. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Sweet, a little bit watery.
Tastes a bit like your standard shop-bought tomato, doesn't it?
Slightly melony note. No? I'd like another piece though. But it's the most familiar one, isn't it? You wouldn't.
It's
you wouldn't mind
familiar.
that. You wouldn't turn that one down
You
in a
wouldn't.
1970s childhood salad
Oh, absolutely not.
with an egg and some little jam and perhaps a
Sliced
bit
egg.
of cress and some cucumber.
Oh, cucumber if you're posh.
It would be very at home in a traditional 1970s British salad.
I only ever had cucumber if we visited my Auntie Queenie for Sunday dinner. And we'd have roast dinner, and because I'd said once that I like cucumber, my roast dinner would always be accompanied by a sauce of basically a whole cucumber sliced up. I was always ill afterwards. I always had tummy ache.
The natural
And nobody knew why.
the natural companion for that would be some salad cream.
Proper salad
Bit
cream.
of salad cream.
Yeah, or maybe a spread sandwich.
Which for your American fans, they
It
may
would
not know
be-
what salad cream is.
It's like a very vinegary mayonnaise, isn't it, really?
Very vinegary.
Yeah.
Probably
sort of-
with corn flour thrown in as well.
Yeah, yeah. So that one, and then I promise I've only got two more. This one then must be the Shirley. Now, again, a little bit firm. And I think that's the problem with some of these. We're eating them slightly too firm.
Okay,
Okay, we'll have it. We're going to go for it, Mike.
come on then.
Come on, we'll live dangerously. Looks much the same and could actually be the same as the Moneymaker.
Hope it isn't the same.
Could be the same. Does look the same, Mike. Watery,
Familiar looking.
seedy. Smells of tomato. That's nicer. That's more tomatoey.
It's perfectly good, but it's not remarkable again, is it?
It's an eating tomato.
It's sweet. You'd be glad to have it.
I tell you what, the Shirley plants though, if you've seen any of the pictures of my tomatoes on Instagram, it's not funny. You'll see how prolific they've been, and so you can see why people grow them, because you get so many tomatoes for your plant, you know. And I think probably the same with Moneymaker. So sometimes I think people grow them not necessarily for the flavour.
And it's a bit multi-purpose, isn't it? Because you could have
It
it.
is,
You could
it
make it
is.
into sauce. You could have it with a salad. You could cut it thinly and have it on top of a pizza. You know.
Hey,
Is this an atomic grape?
oh no, I'd forgotten about the atomic grape. Right, okay. Like the Blue Beauty. Blue Beauty. Here we go. This one is a blue berry. And in the same way, we've got to make sure that the underneath is red. Okay, so this is the only one on the plant that's got this underneath. Again, on my Instagram account, I did put a picture of all the tomatoes as they turned purple, and it was quite an iridescent purple, wasn't it? Looked beautiful, but they tasted terrible. So I'm hoping now this has had time to ripen. If it's anything like the Blue Beauty, it'd be lovely. I mean,
It is a thing of beauty, isn't it?
I'm going to have
It's
some.
like a little,
to
it's like
show
a little
that.
sweet.
Look at that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
How sweet is that? Okay. So, are we ready? I've been looking forward to this one. This one is called Blueberry. 1, 2, 3. That's quite smoky.
And intense.
That's quite... Needs to ripen a bit more.
But it's got quite an intense,
That is incredible.
not too sweet, but quite an intense flavour.
Wow.
Again, pretty tangy.
Yeah, yeah.
Not bitter.
Would you grow that again?
Definitely grow that again.
I don't know what more to
We're
say
not
about that.
ranking
then.
these, are we?
So, just because you've mentioned this before, and this definitely isn't ripe yet, but we're going to try it anyway. This is another one from Ali, as was the blueberry. And I know Tony C. Smith is growing this. I think quite a few people are growing this year. It's called Brad's Atomic Grape. And the reason people like it, again, just the colouring, I think. Can you see that? I think it might actually go purple.
I love the name.
Brad's Atomic Grape. I know, it's great, isn't it?
And it looks like an atomic grape.
Maybe that's it. That could be completely unripe. I'm not sure what a ripe atomic grape's meant to look like. Should we try it
Where
anyway?
are the rest of the atomic grapes, Jane?
In the polytunnel. We've got 3 plants. They've got loads of fruit on, and we're just hoping. Yeah, that's not ripe. That's still green. Should we try it anyway?
Let's try it anyway.
Because we're coming up to the last one in a minute, and the last one will knock your socks off.
I'll help myself. Thank you.
Pleasantly surprised.
Really sweet. One of the
Nice,
sweetest
isn't
ones
it?
that we've had, if not the sweetest. But it doesn't look like it would be the sweetest.
And it's not ripe. Oh, I'm like, and it's not ripe yet.
You have to have some more of that.
You like it, don't you,
Oh, I
Mike?
do like that very much.
So, Brad's a keeper.
And it's a talking point, isn't it? Look at that.
It's very nice. Okay.
Mm.
A bit more as well then. Talk amongst yourselves.
Really good combination.
I'm gonna.
Loads of liquid in there.
What would you use that for?
Seeds
You'd
don't
have that
get in
as
the way too much.
salad.
I'd have it. You'd almost have that on its own, wouldn't you? It doesn't need. Some tomatoes need a little bit of salt on top, don't they?
Yeah.
Or a little bit of olive oil, or a bit of balsamic vinegar. That's great on its own.
It is nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think that's my favourite so far.
Really?
Brad's Atomic Grape.
Brad's
is my
Atomic Grape. Okay, last one then for now.
Bum bum bum.
We have got one in the polytunnel called Pink Tie-Dye.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one called, again, these are all off Ali, Pink Bumblebee. I've lost the labels off both of them, so I don't know which is which. But again, they've got the lovely flecks on them, like the Get Stuffed and like the Brad's Atomic Grape. They just look absolutely gorgeous. But no, don't spoil your palate, because now, this is my favourite. This is a heritage tomato called Soldaki.
Oh, it's lovely.
Now we've tried Marmande, which was lovely. We had Amish paste a few years ago, which was absolutely lovely. This is my favourite out of those beefsteak tomatoes. We only grew it last year for the first time, but it's just gorgeous. Excuse me. I'm going to have difficulty cutting this because the knife suddenly looks very small. But
It looks a little bit like one of those tomato sauce receptacles, doesn't it?
does. It looks like you could squeeze it and get horrible tomato ketchup on the side. Yeah, thanks for that, Mike. But what's interesting about this plant and what's great with regarding labelling your plants is this is a potato-leaved variety. So it's, well, yeah, that's it. It's potato leaves. It's sort of, instead of your serrated tomato leaf, it's a more rounder leaf. So here we go. I feel like there should be a drum roll for this
How
one.
to cut into it?
I'm going in.
You're going to cut it halfway?
It's so ripe.
You are really doing it for the viewers here, aren't you?
I am doing it for the viewers. And then I'm going to eat it and that's going to be... Oh, look at this.
It looks like it's like a big piece of steak or something.
Oh, no, this one's like steak. Hold on. I thought Mike was going to say it's like a pair of melons. Oh, I've got them in the wrong place. I'll say that, haven't I? There we go. Look at that.
Ooh.
That is beautiful. I really hope this tastes nice now because I've sort of built it up a bit,
No,
haven't I?
it looks a bit like a strawberry, actually.
It does.
Like that. Looks like a
It
giant
Strawberry.
strawberry, I think.
I wonder what soldaki means. Don't know what I mean. It's getting a bit dark, isn't it? Can you see us? I don't know. Right, okay. Now this is incredibly ripe. Like I said, I've been waiting for this one. I was going to give this one to my daughter at the weekend, but there was only one. So sorry, Charlotte. We're going to eat it instead. And it looks like the size of it, we're going to be eating it for days. Right, Mikey? You ready? One, two, three. Nice.
It's got a lovely, smooth texture.
I
Not
think
too
that's
much water.
perfect.
Not too sweet.
Can I have a bit more?
What would you have it with?
Sliced again. I think that's it. If you grow your own food,
It's delicious. So,
you don't necessarily want to cook it with other things because it's so fresh. It's like we've grown these cucumbers, like snack size cucumbers, a bit bigger than snack size, about 6-inch, 7-inch cucumbers this year, and I can just pick one of those off and walk around the plot eating a cucumber. And by the time I've gone to go home, I've eaten it all. It's like when you've got your peas. There's an apple. That's lucky that wasn't that one. Good grief, I was a bit off put there. I'm sure the squirrels up there throwing them at us, aiming at us. Anyway, yeah, peas. Eat them off the plant, I'm sure you all do that. Raspberries, they never make it home. You know, you're eating because you get that freshness that you do not get with food that has been shipped. Not necessarily mileage, but the amount of time it takes from being harvested to reaching your table.
always underripe.
All those things.
Mostly underripe.
That's taken 2 weeks because it's just been getting ripe, but the rest of it.
What's interesting about that one to me is that it's like almost all flesh. So when I said before it looked like a piece of steak, you don't really taste the pips in that.
No,
the
you
seeds.
don't. You don't. And
And
also,
it's like
though,
a very even texture throughout the whole slice.
well, I suppose you could. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can eat it like almost like a watermelon, the way you eat that. It
to the
doesn't
fruits
taste like
analogy.
a watermelon, and it's not crunchy. It's very smooth.
Well, I suppose that'd make it good for cooking as well, then, wouldn't it? Really.
It's good, very good.
I'd have it as an eating tomato because the flavour's just so good. But yeah.
Lovely. Very good.
What do you think then, Mike?
Could I have a little tea towel there?
You can have a half of the tea towel.
Thank you.
And I will have the other half of the tea
you.
towel. So yeah, you've got it down your shirt, which is a sign of appreciation. Yeah. So I think that's really interesting. I think if for me, the ones I'd do again, definitely Sungold, that's a keeper. Soldaki's a keeper. Pink Heart's a keeper.
Brad's Atomic Grape
Brad's
is
Atomic
definitely a
Grape.
keeper.
I know it starts to add up,
That's
doesn't it?
the best, I think.
You like that?
I think it's a really... I mean, you're not going to use it in a sauce, but as a salad tomato, really, really unusual.
I've just noticed the dog's missing
He's
completely.
here. I don't
Oh,
normally
he's
get
there.
this excited
Okay.
about tomatoes,
No,
but
you don't.
but Brad's
It's
Atomic
quite
Grape
refreshing.
lives up to the name, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think what's great about that is it's such an unusual variety. It's a little bit of a talking point.
Again, this is one of my points about growing your own food. You're growing stuff that you wouldn't have in the shops. And even though Get Stuffed, we were saying the flavour is unremarkable, you've got people coming round, or just for your own supper or whatever, having your own stuffed tomato. How lovely is that?
If anyone's getting Brad's Atomic Grape in their local deli or supermarket, I'd
yeah.
be very surprised. You'd have to be living in Ludlow.
Yeah. Comments below.
Yeah.
So I hope that's helped you sort of appreciate the different sorts of tomatoes you can get. Not just what you might use them for, but the different flavours, the different textures, the different varieties, because it's, we're learning all the time. I mean, half of these that Ali sent me, I'd never heard of before, but I'll certainly be doing some of those once again. So let me know in the comments below if you've enjoyed it, but also if you're trying a new tomato this year. Are you going to try one of these ones? I'm certainly going to be saving my own seeds. If you don't know how to save your own seeds, there's all sorts of videos out there. It's so easy. And that just means that unless it's an F1, you won't get it true to seed the following year. But I'll be saving seeds off most of these this year to grow again.
Can you buy the more unusual ones in this country? Like, so for example, if somebody went online now, could they get Brad's Atomic Grape?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know where Tony C. Smith got his from. But I know that's certainly one that was sent to me by Ali. But certainly it's worth a search. It's worth a search, And I think maybe later in the year we might do some sort of little prize giveaway or something with a few.
Could be a business venture for us here, selling the seeds.
I don't think we get the chance. We'd be eating them all. But no Sungolds left for anyone.
Can I ask a question before you wrap up?
You see, it's me who usually talks. Yes,
I'm just
go on,
wondering,
Michael.
how many seed would there be to a standard tomato, and would there be more in a great big one like this than in a little tiny sweet one like that?
Well, Mike, I think what we can do there is do a whole other video of you counting those seeds to try and work out, because I haven't got a clue. I mean, some have clearly got more seeds. And like what I said about the, if I can fish out the Get Stuffed, that just had the little seeds in the middle. But, you're still going to have 100 plus seeds there, aren't you?
Maybe 1,000.
So you're not sure just one tomato is going to give you enough seeds for your following year's crop. Just make sure you pick a tomato that's completely ripe, so the seeds are lovely and ripe, and that's the way to go.
Do you know, I've eaten more tomato there in one sitting than I've ever had in my life. And let me tell you, I could have another tomato. I could have a little bit of Brad's Atomic Grape now.
That's a recommendation. You're not going to get it. The others haven't ripened yet. There's only the one.
I'm going to have to have another Sungold
it's on the Sungold. Right
These are
then, on that
fantastic.
point, this is only going to be a short tasting video. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Come and say hello on Instagram. Come to the Facebook group. Please subscribe. And Mike might actually count his seeds out one day for you.
No pun intended.
Time to go. Okay, we'll see you again very soon. Oh, August tour coming up very soon, so we'll see you then. Bye for now.